Russia proposes to leave rape, looting, illegal deportation, torture and executions committed in the occupied territories of Ukraine unpunished. The corresponding bill was adopted by the State Duma in the first reading. According to the text of the document, it is possible to avoid liability for any crime if it was committed, quote, to protect the interests of Russia.
Главная проблема заключается в том, что
The main problem is that there are no special bylaws that reveal the concept of what Russia's interests are. Therefore, in each specific case, responsible officials, investigators, judges make a decision at their own discretion. And this norm, in principle, makes it possible to bring any crime committed by Russian military personnel in the occupied territories under the protection of interests. That is, in fact, carte blanche for the security forces.
Lawyers note that the bill contradicts even Russian legislation, the criminal code and the constitution, and the vague and indefinite term interest of the Russian Federation, under which you can substitute anything, is now higher than human rights.
Мы можем смоделировать такую ситуацию.
You can simulate the following situation. Mercenaries of the private military company captured a Ukrainian officer. They are deployed in a territory covered by this bill. The Ukrainian officer knows some military secrets. They torture him. Then it is reviewed, investigated by the military. Torture is prohibited in general in all countries. The case goes to the court, and they are released from criminal liability. In fact, it legalizes torture. To put it bluntly, it also makes it possible to avoid criminal liability for a host of other crimes.
The bill refers to crimes committed before September 30, 2022, the date of the annexation of the occupied territories, but it is indicated only in one part, so the literal reading of the bill does not set the time limit, Advokatskaya Ulitsa newspaper notes. In other words, Russia directly tells its military and collaborators, commit crimes, you will not get anything for it.
Уголовное право – это
Criminal law is a rather corrupt area, and when a person is threatened with a fairly long-term imprisonment, he looks for opportunities to influence judges, prosecutors, and looks for all sorts of loopholes to avoid criminal liability. Due to uncertainty, this will be used solely to ensure that people who should not evade criminal responsibility will evade it. This is absolutely illegal.
The bill still has 2 more readings ahead of it, but experts have no doubts that it will be adopted. After all, the authors of the documents, Andrei Klishas, a member of the Federation Council, and Pavel Krasheninnikov, a deputy, are considered to be the executors of the Kremlin's initiatives. For example, it was they who drafted amendments to the Russian constitution to zero out Putin's terms.
все людоедские законы последних
All of the cannibalistic laws of recent years, and indeed recent months, have been adopted by the State Duma almost instantly. The State Duma is completely tame. These are all the same people who are in power. This is a continuation of Putin's regime. There are no disagreements, and there cannot be. Therefore, if the Kremlin considers that this particular form of law is necessary, it will be adopted in this form.
As of December, the Prosecutor's General's Office of Ukraine registered almost 69,000 crimes related to Russian aggression, and these are only documented cases. Putin's Russia decided to cover up the criminals, but hiding from the Hague will not work. Just as the commander of the Kosovo Liberation Army, Salim Mustafa, did not succeed. Recently, the court sentenced him to 26 years in prison for the murders and torture that he committed back in the 2000s. The entire democratic international community declares the inevitability of punishing Russia for war crimes and the crime of aggression. Reported by Dana Kolesnik, Vasil Panasiuk, UATV News.